Sleep all right? The owner, a man younger than me, a young man in fact, waters his plants using a half-coiled, gently dribbling hose in an atrium attached to the bed and breakfast. Breakfast is served on a small side table, glass, with glass atrium walls dividing me from the hills and the fog. I squint out, seeking in its haze and the haze of my mind an answer. Much as I could. Oh, of course, it's hard sometimes. We all go through rough patches. You got in late after all. Late to bed, late to rise. You know the saying, like that worm, but the opposite. Yeah, sorry about that. How about the late breakfast? Oh, not at all, not at all. I'm glad the room was open. Rare this time of year, actually. Getting colder out. You got a thicker jacket or something? Then you might want to think about picking one up. A store in town carries them. Maybe even Sainsbury's, but not sure, though I'd recommend going local over them. Costs a bit more, of course, bear that in mind. Thanks. I'll check it out. Hot shower will do you good, I think. Careful the tap, though. It gets hot pretty quickly. I need to install a panel, tap your temperature on the screen, that kind of thing. It's a nice feature. From my white wicker chair, I grunt my assent and nibble dry toast on a plate. The jam and butter stare up at me, waiting to be used, but I can't seem to care. The young man twists closed the hose's tap and turns from his plant watering and strides away. Kettle's right here. Got an extension cord last year. Very handy that. Some water in it, I think. Yep, a bit. You can use the sink over there next to the hose if you need more. Water's clean, don't worry. Plants have to drink it after all. Don't want to pretend we're any better than them. Tea's here in the dish. Milk spoons. Make sure to put it back on the base when you're done. I'm good, thank you. I've used one of these electric ones before. The kettle. Oh, you have you? Yeah, I've been here before. The UK. No, Ireland in particular. Oh, of course. Traveled fellow like yourself. I envy that. Been able to travel around. You been to County Galway then? No, further north, the Conmara. Oh yeah, beautiful up there. Bit flatter than you might think. Old mountains, last ice age and all that. Supposedly, I don't know. Lovely though, especially near the coast. You heading into the city at all? Galway? Tourists love the place. Bit too busy for me. Outdoor market is nice though. Local things. Open on Sundays. Not this time. I don't think so. I'm really not here for pleasure. I see. His pale blue eyes sweep over my rumpled clothes, my scattered hair, as though they tell him answers to questions he need not ask. He reaches under a nearby chair, extracts some bulky objects, and proffers a hand-carved, well-worn chess set in my direction. I stare at the chessboard like it's a snake. I haven't played in years. The sky is still dim, brightened by a halo-less sun climbed low. I'll have plenty of time left. I open a hand toward the glass tabletop in front of me, and he, giddy and grown animated by my acceptance, clears the toast and jam and butter away and sets the board in place with a clap. Not too many folks play anymore. I'm happy to have a guest who does. Don't want to get rusty now. Too late for me. Call me Tin Man. I chuckle at my humorless joke and flip on the kettle and rifle through the tea bags. Irish breakfast. Well, one with the natives. At least I've managed to attune my ear to the clipped, quick speech. You want white or black? I gesture towards the pieces. Oh, whatever. Okay, I'll take black. Sure. He places the pieces in their proper positions, one at a time, deliberate, surgical, all facing forward against their opponent's set. Warfare in loving miniature. Once he's done, I lean back and wait for him to start, but he just smiles at me, for all the world content to sit in silence forever. I prep my tea and take a sip. You gonna go? White before black. Oh, I don't care about all that. I'm just happy to play. Guess first. He clasps the edge of the board and deftly spins it so that the white side faces me. All right. I pinch the pawn in front of my white queen and slide it forward. A hackneyed move, I know, but that's all I can remember of specific strategies. He tilts his head and his mouth silently chuckles. Around him, creepers from the atrium cling to walls and hang from the ceilings, wreathing his dim silhouette, attendant and poised to answer. The room glows strange and wan, colorless like the sky, the light flat and everywhere dull like the green it suffocates. Strange that you got an atrium out here. He perches a couple fingers on the night. Yeah, lots of people tell me that. Plants need less sun than most folk realize, though. The ones in here, at least. Water, too. Well, you've got no shortage of water in this country, that's for sure. I move my bishop out of its wall of protection. He barks a laugh and slides a rook forward. That's the truth. That's the truth. More sunny days than you might realize, though. The rain is a lie we tell tourists to keep them out. No offense. Lots of them these days, tourists. He glances at me, straight in the eyes, pointed, stern, older than his age. You are coming from the south, then? I hesitate, hand hovering over a pawn, and lift up a knight instead. Yeah, through the Ring of Kerry, down and back up, landed in Shannon. Oh, lovely area. Ghastly tourist center they put up along the cliffs, though, trying to make it look like Hobbiton, Tolkien and all that. You seen it? No, not this time. I can imagine, though. God awful. He shoves a pawn forward 2 spaces, ruining the view with some aborted piece of architecture like a dead fetus clutching the cliffs. A gross image, sorry. Some company making loads off of it, though, I'm sure. Of course it's that way, the fuckers. Man-made and useless, like anybody asked for it. Can't let nature stay free, or natural. Of course, I mutter. The kid's vehemence surprises me. It matches, point for point, his earlier affability. He rubs his thumbs and middle fingers together in a nervous habit, surveying the board, chewing his lower lip. I move my bishop along its diagonal tract. Funny down there, though. Claire. The sharp folk. Great sense of humor. County Claire's known for that. It throws people off sometimes, tourists especially. Yeah, so I noticed. Oh, they don't mean anything by it, though. We Irish have got more reason than most to look for humor in things. He plants his own bishop firmly in place rather than slide it along the board squares. When he leans forward, something shifts under his shirt. A pendant of some kind, metallic, dull, slipping between the buttons of his shirt, receding when he leans back. So you said you've been here before? Yeah, years ago when I spent some time here, just a vacation. Didn't get much further north than that abbey up there. Kylemore, yep, beautiful. Out of the way a little. Yeah, came across it by accident, actually. No kidding. Nice surprise, then. It was. There were all these Japanese tourists out front, taking pictures, doing the V thing with their fingers like this, That's how I knew they were Japanese. Ellie wouldn't stop imitating them. She went behind and... Only after I stop my small anecdote do I realize that I said it, or even remember the memory itself. My queen is lingering on a square, shielded by my fingertips. The kid is staring at me, leaning back in his chair, face hard. 3 moves. I took the bait, wasn't concentrating, and now my queen will be lost in 3 moves. Her ivory mantle cracked and fallen. No way to win the game. If the queen is lost this early, no way to win, not really. I retrace the conversation and see my host guiding me, disarming me, getting me to speak, open up, get distracted. It's all right, mate. Don't feel bad. You're not the first, not by a long shot. No need to hide it. Like clockwork, you lot are, coming through, hoping for secrets. I catch myself twiddling with the handle of my teacup as I observe my host. He is leaning back, hands crossed at his waist, completely ignoring the chessboard. I mean, I get it, of course. I do. Lots of hidden places out there, after all. It's an old country. I said as much before. A lot more than castles and ruins hanging around, if you know what I mean. I pause and assess and consider alternatives. It's worth the risk. Either talk or leave, and if I leave, I won't be back. Either the bed and breakfast or the country itself. What? What do you know? Plenty. Are you willing to listen? I wouldn't be talking otherwise. Where is it? It's not like that. Heaven's not in one place, is it? It's not a place at all, strictly speaking. I have to get metaphysical about this, excuse me. But you can go there? The field? Sure, anyone can. And those who've passed, they return there? More or less. It's like Samhain, the world's bleed. Like what? He hisses and grabs his head. That's the fucking Christians for you, robbing our heritage, our language too. Welsh got it worse though. Fucking English. I don't follow. Never mind. Brush up on your history, mate, and your pronunciation. It's not all constitutions and Lincoln. I don't understand. What does this have to do with the field? You want to know, don't you? The folklore, how it works and all that? You need to know the history behind it, and that includes learning how to pronounce things properly like Samhain. Well, I mean, sure, at least nobody would give me a straight answer. Not since I got here. That's because it's not like Cuchulainn or anything like that. One of those big legends doesn't make us look good. Heroes and giant axes, just sad and soulful, that old Irishman stereotype. If it's not drunk and fighting, it's that. No spunk, no memory, you know what I mean? It's a good one, though. A good legend? Well, sure, you lucked out stopping here. I teach over at uni. Young, I know. That's the first thing you thought when I said that. Take after my dad, supposedly. He's leaning back in his white wicker chair, the twin to mine, face split by a grin. I wonder if he's toying with me, and then, after several moments of believing it, I realize what he means. It's not a legend. Eh? What do you mean, eh? Sure it is. What else is it? No, it's real. It's real. You... what? The field? On Ramsha, you mean? The field? I fumble with my cup and try to set it down before I drop it. It's real. A real place. My wife is there. She's waiting. What? Your actual wife? Fucking hell. Listen, I didn't know it was like that. Are you putting me on right now? He tries to stall me getting up. I'm leaving. Whoa. You gotta pay first. Let me go get the chip and pin. Still using that. They're almost totally phased out for contactless, but small businesses, you know, we always get the shaft. Just hang on a second. No. I trip and hit the ground. It's hard, made harder by the cold. Fronds reach towards my face. I feel a sting in my knee as if the skin through my jeans was pierced by stone. And no need to get all crazy. Lots of folk want to know, that's all. It's a romantic thing, the Emerald Isle and all that stuff. Fucking leprechauns, heard enough of that one. I just thought, hey, listen, if you just hang on. I fish out my wallet while I'm still sitting on the ground and toss him several 20s. And you want your change, don't you? I mean, it's all right, but just, hey, take it easy. He leans towards me, extending a hand to help, but wary. He's acting like I'm some deranged animal, and he was the one who was acting crazy before. That's when I see his pendant swing fully forward out of his shirt. An Irish cross. Pewter. Probably local. Made by hands, not machines. The old bridge between two divinities, the sun and the sun. The cross of Christian faith, haloed by the warmth of a God abandoned, unneeded, of summer and light that becomes the hope of autumn. Radiating forward, warming through to the modern age, remade by flesh into something less forgotten. I say nothing and ignore his protests. Stumbling through his house, I pack up my things like a thief, a ransacker, taking what I can before the true master returns home, poaching what belongs to me already. Just slow down out there, please. You've got to be careful on the roads. Sit down for a minute. Finish your tea at least, for God's sake. I hear all those words echo through the wood and the glass and the walls and the ceiling. They mean nothing. Nothing means a thing. Before long, I'm on the road, leaving my hosts waving arms behind in the rear view. I drive and don't stop. I don't know my destination now. The young man was right. The young man was right, though. It's where I want it to be, where she, even now, if side by side with me in the car, would want me to be. Where she would want us to never leave. Her fingers would slide into mine, grip past the knuckles, and her smile would lead me to where, in that perfect shape of grass and hills, I might see beauty and desire reflected, regret and torture erased, and the living and the dead fused finally and without error. No bed and breakfast tonight. Just the road ahead, the road and the wheels scrabbling atop it. In darkness I pull over, past the white line, and lean the seat back, flattening my body under the roof, under the sky, and its stars dimmed by fog. Dreams become the shape of the morning, and all around me the gray clouds suffocate. The night mist settles into a womanly shape. She pushes out of the fog, arms reaching toward me, an apparition bearing sterling teeth. She smiles and drops her dress to her waist and laughs as I go to her weeping. I press my face into breasts colder than unworked iron but soft as the glaze of fur swirled on the crown of a newborn. All around us the thunder, pressing like eyes too red and sore to open. Through blackness she whispers a psalm I know must be hers, because there's no one else but us. The green hills are speaking again, love. Time to go. Time to wake. Time to come and see what you've been wanting. Time to rise and breathe yourself back into the dirt.